after what is a very well-deserved break for the drivers and myself, I'll be honest. Welcome back to Qatar. We are starting the second half of the season. We are in Lusail International Circuit, and we're looking on with Wolfie Plays in the Red Bull. Welcome along again. This is Tier 2. I know past few weeks you've seen Tier 1 on here, but it's time for Tier 2. Jack Crossley is on Tier 1. Where exactly it's going to be, I'm not fully sure. Probably on YouTube. Yes, that's exactly... is it? Are we live on YouTube as well? Oh no. Okay, so Tier 1 is live on YouTube. And then Tier 2 is live with me. Happy to have you all along with us. My name is Casper, as always. Let me just open this up and pop the link into DAS Discord as well. That's not where I wanted to pop that. That is, however, where I wanted to pop that. And we've got, again, there's quite a lot of stuff that's going on in terms of the championship, especially with this man, considering his championship teammate, Ryan Barthez, is dominating the standings since we last saw him here on this channel. Has got exactly a 25-point gap, so it's pretty likely that he's going to come out of round 7 and heading down into, I think it's Spielberg as round 8? Let me just check that. Heading into the next round as... no, it's Silverstone even. Oh, even better. So there is that, but Breezy is starting a lap. So we'll jump on and go for a lap on board, as we always do. 5th gear for turn 1, and then braking down again to 5th gear. Long radius corners. Careful on the exit. That track limits can be a bastard around this track. Up towards the double apex hairpin of turn 4. Manages to get into 8th gear, drops into 6th through 4 and 5. And then sort of the first heavy braking zone on this circuit is turn 6, down to 3rd gear. Tight hairpin, long lap loop for all you MotoGP fans there on the outside. Into turn 7, again, there's a lot of long radius corners, and that is one of them. He takes it in 4th gear, through the kink at 8, and then through the turn at 9. It's not really much of a kink. 10, again, slightly sharper hairpin, but it opens up there on exit. Sweeper at 11, careful for the McLaren traffic in the background. I think that's going to be Emble, because he heads through the arguably most magnificent section on this circuit, 12, 13 and 14. Again, careful on track limits on exit, because this game is really sensitive on this circuit about that sort of stuff. 5th gear again through the final corner. It's a really fast flowing circuit. Breezy's first lap across the timing line is going now. What sort of time is he going? It's a 21.5. That's not too bad, but let's jump on board with the championship leader. Ryan Barthez going through turns 2 and 3 now. Stable there on exit. Mitch goes 2nd. Wolfie Players goes 3rd. 22.25 and 26.0 respectively for each of those. We're looking on with Sanj, one of the next people to cross the line. Vinny goes 3rd with 22.6 even. Not an optimal exit there from the final corner as he comes out across the line, probably about 24. Oh, 25.0. He goes into 4th place. Gevy has retired, so he's going to be starting at the back of the field. Let's jump on with... yeah, let's go with Jamie. In the Haas. Scored 21 points, best finish for 7th in... Ooh, that's your lap gone. Easy as that, and that's the next lap done as well, so you're going to have to go for a whole lap before you can even consider going into the pits or anything like that. But in Italy, I want to say that's... yeah, that is Monza. Because it says Italy for both, and I can't remember which one is where. Yeah, let's go to Ryan Barthez. Goes 3rd behind his teammate, 22.4. So there's still quite a big gap. So Breezy has seemingly got a very good time on his hands. We go to the Alfa Romeo at the background of Gias. Gasso's also on a lap time, but where is he on track? Right behind, I do imagine. What? What happened there? Typical, typical F1 being F1. Let's jump to... Yeah, so he's right behind. So I should stay on board with the Aston. Hey up, Tiger. Good to see you. Good to have you along with us. And the pit lane currently haven't set time just yet as Gattuso does go into the pit lane. So let's jump up with Gias. Across the line he goes. 21.5 to beat. And he doesn't quite do that. 22.4. So just over a second. Just under a second. Down on Breeze. He puts himself on that front row. Not too difficult to pass around here. Because the main overtaking zone is down into turn 1, but you could see quite a few outrageous moves sort of into turn 1, not 1, into turn 4, which is exactly where we are with Gias. Also possibly places like into the right-handers, which you can see the McLaren blob go through there. That would be an interesting move. And also final corner is going to be somewhere where you've got to watch out for. Thank you, mate. Good to be back, as always. Ready Player F1 has come out for another lap. Let's see what triggers through this first sector. Up by 3/4 of a second, just under. As we go slightly deep into the hairpin at 6. Let's see what's cracking through the remainder of this lap. The AlphaTauri going into turn 9. Nicely done. Into 10. Kisses the apex there. Nice on exit. Could have possibly been a little bit earlier on the throttle. This triggers second sector. 1.2 seconds up. Fastest middle sector. So there's some pace in that AlphaTauri left. I think he's just goes in 5th and 6th gear. That's not take a lot more speed through there unless he's gone for a very low downforce setup. But we'll see what happens when he crosses the line. Final corner here, dropping down to 3rd gear as well. So there's a lot of low gears being used here for the AlphaTauri. Where's he going to come out in the time? 24.5. So it goes up a couple of spots, up by 2 seconds, but still at the back of the field. Let's go with Emble, one of the owners of the league, up to the second sector timing line now. Where is he coming up? 54.7. That's not too bad. I thought the back end was going to step out there on the McLaren. Very, very close for that to almost actually happen. Goes through 15 and then into the final corner. Track limits nice so far, going wide and deep into there, but he manages to regain it on the exit. What sort of time can Emble get across the line? It's 23.1, so puts himself in 7th place, but actually not too far behind the cars ahead of him, as most of the cars are on outlaps, including this man Vinny, who's just about to start his 2nd lap in this qualifying session. 9 minutes left to go in quali. I should also mention, let me see who is on the quali ban list. I did see something about that earlier. Lockie, so in the Mercedes at the very back you can see. HG Wombat as well, but he's already retired. And is Matalotti in this one? I'm not fully sure. But there we go. So both Lockie and Wombat are on quali ban, so they're not going to be taking part in qualifying, starting at the back of the grid, which around here isn't bad of a place to do it. There are better places such as Silverstone, for instance, and Spa, but this isn't too bad, I suppose. Yell's in the 3rd sector. That, I think, is for Emble. Yes, he is going slowly in that final section. Kept from Vinny, because he's going to be charging right up his backside. There goes the McLaren. I think he's going again. Does he move to the left side? Does he move to the right side? He's going again. He's going to the pit lane now. Okay, so he's out of the way, and here comes Vinny. Where is Vinny? 7th in the championship. 50 points down on the leader, but can he put himself on pole position? Not quite. 22.2. 3.5 tenths up on his PB. Goes into 4th place. Splits the Alpines, who absolutely dominated the constructors as well. Should also mention Tiger B. Did see him in chat just now. Running up to the 2nd sector time now, 54.3. That's also relatively decent. It says it's fastest middle sector, but I'm cautious of that on the first laps of any driver because it's normally actually not the fastest. Careful there on the curbs. XRL Flavour goes into 10th place as well. Here comes Tiger B. One McLaren in 9th. Where's the other? Up to the line now, 22.2, so puts him in 5th place as well. Very good time there from Tiger B. That's not quite what I wanted. Let's jump to Phoenix. Through 4 and 5. First sector split is just on the approach to 6, 27.0. That's relatively alright. We'll see what happens through the exit. Has Phoenix raced with us? I'm not too sure. I can only see top 20 on here. Can't see him on that list, unfortunately. He's coming up to the left-handers. Let's go on with... Well, Wolfie Place has gone deep into 10. That's screwed over his lap. James also gone into the pit lane, and Ryan Barthez is going through turn 3 now. Again, championship leader will want to extend his championship. As he does, he hasn't really got too much momentum after a couple of not ideal finishes. A DNF at round 5 and then round 6 in Baku, a 4th place. As woo! Hell of a spin that. Not a good no time from there, but that was one hell of a spin as we've got 5 and a little bit minutes left of 5.5 minutes left in qualifying. It's Breezy Phoenix and Gantaso's Phoenix goes second, just under a 10th behind Breezy, so that pole position time is all closing up very neatly. Let's go to... Yes, this has Master Death Teddy. Currently haven't participated in 3 rounds, 2, 3 and 4. Best finish of 5th in China. Which I'm led to believe was quite an entertaining race. Of course not covered due to Tier 1 comms being unavailable. 3, 7 and 8 and 9 into the hairpin at 10. Currently the only person out on a lap. Gias is on an out lap as well. As he comes up 55.555 after a pair of sectors. That's pretty funny, I will admit. Up to turn 15. Nicely done there on exit, and then the final corner. Where is he going to come out through the line? 19th of the championship, 3 rounds participated, 10 points total. For the Haas, he's got 23.6, so it puts him in 12th place. Puts him in 12th place. It goes into turn 1. Sort of, again, not too bad for him, but I'm sure he would have been hoping for more after his last race that he participated in, of course, 5th place in China, but hasn't really raced since. I should also mention there's been, out of 6 races, there's been 5 winners. The only repeat winner is Ryan Barthez, who's dominated, again, is, well, on the way to dominating this championship pretty handily, but again, anything could happen. As we have seen before, Gias, Alfa Romeo starting a lap. There's a couple of out laps as well, as we've got 3 minutes, 20 seconds left in this qualifying session, so final laps are going to come in thick and fast. And here is the first of them. Jamie is also out, as is Costasar, the better placed of the 2 Alpines so far in a full grid of 20. 5th and 8th are the French cars, which have actually recent reports for the Alpine squad come out that, yeah, it's not exactly the most aerodynamically efficient. It's come out, let me try and get the correct wording. Alpine's Renault engine remains a big limitation. However, testing reveals the A524 is also lacking in aerodynamics and mechanical grip. So Alpine can't be hoping for too much there. Fastest first, fastest middle sector for Gias. So some belter of a time coming for the Alfa Romeo through turn 15. And then into the final corner. Where is he going to come out as he crosses the line? It's a long run to the line here in the Middle East, in Qatar. But where is Gias going to come? Is it going to be a sub-21? Puts himself into 6th place, 21.984. So we've got a lot more drivers diving under the 22s. As we've also got Costasar on a lap. We've got more drivers out on laps, on their out laps as well. Top 11, either on one, have just finished one, or currently starting one, i.e. not in the pits. Naz for 20 for life as well. In the other AlphaTauri is in, well, he's not in anymore. He's out on a lap. As we've got quite a lot of cars just piling up in a couple of different sections of the circuit. I think, is Naz going to be the first one to start a lap? I don't think so. Let's go to Jamie, who's gone off track somewhere, and that could be his qualifying done if he can't get into the start-finish line quickly enough. He's on low charge, so he's got to pull off an absolute belter of a lap to even try. 27.2 first sector. He's got 48 seconds to get there. I'm not too sure if he's going to be able to start another lap. We'll keep an eye on it. Ready Player F1, 3/4 of a second up. Well, no, he's coming up to the first sector now. He's, well, 2/3 of a second down. Should have said nothing. That's his time done and dusted. Easy as that. That's how pedantic this game can be on track limits around this circuit. There we go, happened again with Wolfie. Kezi starting a lap time down towards turn 1. So is Breezy. He's round the outside of 7. Sweeper at 8, Kink at 9, Hairpin at 10. Currently on pole position by just under a tenth. We'll certainly want to extend that gap from people like Phoenix, Gapiso and Mitch. Although, is that Vinny going into 5th place? I think it is. 21.8 for the Aston. Jamie wasn't able to start a lap time. So we've got final laps coming in now. One Red Bull in the way, the other not wanting to give up. Here he comes up to the line now. DRS and Slipstream. Could that be a strategic decision by the team? As up to the line they go to 21.358. That is a new fastest lap. Currently provisional pole position. Here comes Phoenix. 21.4 again. But his lap time was invalidated anyway. On board with Gattuso. His lap time's dead as well. Mitch's time, impaired by the Ferrari. I think that's XRL flavour. That Mitch is not going to be happy with that one. I can tell you, Vinny's time is done. Ryan Barthez also coming up to the line, final corner, and that is that for this man. Here he comes, DRS wide open now as well. Is it going to be an improvement on his time? 22.2 to beat. 21.4 puts him in 2nd place. Wow, so Ryan Barthez, championship leader, is going to be on the front row. XRL Flavour didn't get to improve his time, so that intervention is all for nothing there, as all drivers are in the pit lane. So that is it. Breezy is your pole sitter ahead of championship leader Ryan Barthez. Phoenix and Gattuso on the 2nd row as well. A good effort for those guys. Mitch in 5th, impaired by the by the Ferrari, case of what could have been. Breezy currently the closest person in the championship fight at the moment, because Tenastic isn't in this race tonight. Has participated in 5 out of 6 races so far. Best result for him is 2 second places at the sprint Grand Prix that we had at France and at Baku. So we're just waiting for a couple of guys to come in. Looking on with Phoenix in 3rd place. Good result for the Mercedes, but we're just going to see the qualifying results on your screen in a brief moment. So here we are, Breezy, Ryan, Phoenix and Gattuso, your top 4. There's a lot to dissect here. People like Gevi hasn't been able to set a time. Unfortunate there for him. Lockie and Wombat are on qualifying ban, so they weren't able to do so. Not a bad result for Mbuk. Used to seeing him slightly higher, but 12th place is still pretty decent. Stellar time there from Tiger B as well. Puts himself in 7th place. That's qualifying done. We're going to be racing in just around about 5 minutes time. Can I delete this? We're going to be racing in about 5 minutes time. Don't go anywhere. Can I delete that? Now I wonder. Create a dashboard. Stream manager. Oh, Christ. I know how all this works. Oh, God. Good. Can I do anything else? Ban. Juicy. Haha! There we go. Done and dust. Took a little bit of time to get there, but we got there in the end. Right. Let me again run you through the championship standings. Ryan Barthez first place, 91 points after 6 races. That's actually a pretty big amount, considering how close, how tight some of these races can be and are decided by. 2 wins and a 2nd place in terms of podium finishes. Also a 4th place in Baku, worth mentioning. 2nd place is Tenastic, 25 points down on 66. Whenever he's finished quite high, because a 4th, 2nd, 3rd and 2nd, 1 DNF in Austria, and also sprint points as well, but sprint points aren't unfortunately listed here as we're going to go get ready to go. 5 lights on ahead of the drivers. I'm not sure if that was meant to happen, as we're going to get going here in Qatar on board with, let's go with Phoenix. Not a bad start, but Breezy had a hell of a start. There's some fighting further back, 3 wide, that's Haas, AlphaTauri and McLaren. That is Mitch going up the inside of Phoenix. We're trying to do 3 wide on the exit there with an Aston Martin and a Mercedes. They're fighting side by side. Phoenix with Gattuso. Gattuso has the inside line into turn 3, and that is virtual safety car, I think. Looks to be. There's been a bit of contact further back with people like Master Death. Teddy, he's still got his front wing, but Gevi does not. That's what starting in the back does for you, unfortunately. So not a great start for the Alfa Romeo. So we're on the virtual safety car. That's going to go pretty quickly, as it usually does. But a pretty eventful start to this race. Remember, this mid-pack here is going to be something to watch, with a lot of very good drivers in here. We've got 29 laps ahead of us. It seems like it was actually meant to start this quickly. So I think safety car is just going to be ending in a couple of seconds time through 12. There we go, 13, and then the right at 14. Just going to be waiting for the safety car to end and then see who gets the jump, who ends in a good place, who ends in a poor place. And there we go, we are under full green conditions again. Mitch going to try up the inside of the final corner. Careful for Vinny there. Oh, contact there. Going to lose a couple of positions. It is Mitch. As now Costasar and Vinny go side by side. Contact there with the front wings. Williams are going to try and get alongside. So does the McLaren. Can they go 4 wide? No, they almost go 2 by 2 there. Side by side, Costasar and Vinny battle for 5th place. Believe it or not. Contact there, Costasar and Vinny once again. So this is going to be proving a hell of a race. Remember, these guys, track limits, fuel, ERS is a very difficult racetrack just in general as they head down to turn 4 and 5 for the first time under full green conditions. Lap 2 of 29. HG Wombat and Gevi, two of the people that didn't put in a time, are on the back. They've gone into the pit lane. Wolfie plays 3-second time penalty for track limits, first one of the race, although I expect we're going to be getting a lot more throughout. Looking on with Kostasar and Mitch, 6th and 7th, close as you like. Into turn 10. A little bit wide there is Kostasar, careful for the Williams behind. Big pack growing here, sort of from 5th to about 10th, give or take, as we've got change for position. Embol getting passed by Gias into the right-handers. Gias drops a couple of gears into that corner as Embol does go into the pit lane. Goes very, very wide to get there, but as long as you're in there, that's all that matters. Possible change for podium positions here. Phoenix and Gattuso. The DRS is now enabled as well, so DRS within 1 second of the detection point before the final corner. And that's the only place on this circuit where you can use DRS. Up towards turn 4 we go. There's a big, again, the big old fight a little further back here. Helicopter shot working wonders. As we're looking on with the McLaren. Oh, no, thought he was going to go for it down into, that's contact there! Oh my word, what's happened there? Tiger B's driven at the back of, that is Mitch in the Williams, and he's going to lose parts of a front wing, because that's going to be Chaos and Connor as well. Gias gets passed by, he does get past XRL Flavor, so he dropped down to 11th place after starting 12th. Isn't too bad, actually started 13th. He's gone up to Naz, gets past Tiger B there side by side, going up to the right-hander, although Tiger B does win out the defence. Is Jamil possibly a little bit too cautious going into here? Front wing, or at least elements of it, missing, so he's going to be impacted through here. I would imagine into the pit lane he goes. Does he? Yes, he does. So this big old pack that's closed up is going to open up now. Gias gets past Naz as well, as they're going to go 2 wide, 3 wide possibly down the back stretch. There's a fighting there, Williams and Red Bull. That's Wolfie. As Gias also gets past Naz as well. Ready player F1 trying to force himself up the inside. No moves being made there. So that is already a lot of chaos happening here in Qatar. We've got 26 more laps to come. A lot of fun here. Side by side, Wolfie and Mitch. Mitch trying to get back up to the front of the field where he was before. Up the inside of turn 4. Brilliant move, contact there. As Wolfie tries to force the switch back. Forced further inside than he would have liked. Sanj keeping out of it. Wolfie giving the position purely on sportsmanship. Good on you. As careful there on the rear end for Wolfie. As he heads round turn 6 into the right-hander of 7. So he had a decent drive. He could have gone for that position. He tries to go down the inside of 9. That's a difficult move to pull off. I'd say not one that you can pull off in a car, possibly in a bike, but certainly not in a car. Looking on with the Red Bull here, battle for 12th place, bear in mind, as, woo, good lord. I mean, that's one way to go wide. That's not one that I'd suggest. Let's jump down to 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Ryan Barthez side by side with Gattuso looking back from Phoenix. As he does make that position, Gattuso does get 3-second time penalty for the track limits. Nicely held there by the Alpine. Keeps down the inside. Now it's Aston Martin. Opportunity into 4. Can he make that work? 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane for Wolfie. As Mr. Death Teddy and Mitch have also come into the pit lane, I imagine, for some sort of repairs from each of them. Let's also look at tyres as well. Mostly mediums and hards, but Tiger B's put on a set of softs as well. And mainly because he came into the pit lane beforehand. As we're looking on with this battle here, battle for 2nd place. That's sort of emerged. They're not very far apart from each other. Ryan Barthez has just creeped off the trail of the DRS from Phoenix. The man ahead of him, is he going to pick up DRS off this? doesn't look to, as they're now closing up on Breezy as well, or at least trying to. Go on board with Gattuso. Wolfie plays again, getting 3-second time penalty for track limits. Gattuso to the right he goes. Ryan Barthez gives a little bit of defence. But down this front stretch, he can't really offer too much, because remember, no weaving. As great run out of turn 1. I thought he was going to try and have the outside of 2. It's a brave move to do. But he stays behind, decides to wait for the next DRS stretch to make that move. Gattuso, close as you like with Ryan Barthez. 3rd and 4th bottom step of the podium battle. This counts for Vinny in 5th place as they head down into turn 6. Nicely held by both of those guys. We'll return to them shortly. 6th and 7th, Kossasar and Jamie. I thought it was Jamili for a sec. Jamie. As Tiger B does go fast at 25.081, but he's 15th. Remember, his fastest lap point for one of the top 10. As they head down to turn 10, actually. Relatively ironically. Yeah, between first and second has now closed up to within a second, so we're going to probably be seeing some moves being made down that front stretch ever so soon, as we're looking for this battle for 6th and 7th. Let's jump back up to, yeah, let's jump up to 1st and 2nd. Mediums against hards. Hards working better at this moment, it would seem, as they head down the front stretch into turn 1, starting lap 7 of 29. We're only not even a quarter of the way through, blimey. Hell of a lot has happened in this race so far. Let's go on with Barthez. He goes to the outside. Inside, outside, you can make moves all over these first couple of corners. Gattuso forces Ryan wide, and that is defended very well by the Aston Martin, although possibly forcing your fellow driver off track. Not sure that's how you're meant to defend. Yellow's in the third and final sector. Who's that for? I think that would have been an incident for Sanj there, as Kossasar does get a 3-second time penalty for track limits. Kossasar's in 6th place, so it's going to be pretty hefty, although he is 4.4 seconds ahead of Gia, so it's not too bad at the moment, but again, there's still over 20 laps left to decide. Phoenix down into turn 10, handling that very nicely. He's less than half a second off the back of Breezy, so we could be seeing a change for the lead down the front stretch, but we've still got these right-handers, these fast right-handers, what this circuit is known for, to negotiate. Nicely handled by both of those guys. Thought that was a bit wide from Breezy. Into turn 15, Sanj gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits. Probably not helped by his spin on exit of the final corner, but you've got to do with what you're given on board with the Mercedes. He's going to open that rear wing letterbox. He's going to try and charge past. He's not using too much battery. It's difficult to regain battery, but I think he's just holding off there. He does seem to have lifted the throttle as there's a change for 3rd. Barthez down the inside. Gattuso defending around the outside. You can make a defense around the outside, but it's quite difficult to do. Ryan Barthez's inside line seemed to be superior as they head down into turn 2. So Ryan Barthez back on the podium where we've seen him actually quite a few times in this season. Of course, 2nd, 1st and 1st in the first 4 rounds. I say 4 because round 3 he finished 13th, but let's ignore that for his own sake. Hasn't really picked up a podium since, didn't finish in the 2nd Italian round, and then Azerbaijan finished 4th place, so just off the podium. Let's look. That's the penalties. Wolfie's got 14 seconds. That is a hefty amount. Let's look at position changes again. Phoenix up 1, Ryan down 1. Biggest mover, Lockie up 7 after starting in 19th place. One of the guys, I believe, that had a quali ban. So up into 12th place is a good start for the Mercedes. Also, Wombat up 4. As we go on board with Phoenix, does he try again down into turn 1? Is he lifting off again? I think he might be. Is he trying to recover that battery a little bit so that he can get past and get clear now? One wonders. Is he trying to also conserve fuel? Because it is, again, very difficult to put in the right amount of fuel. You usually need to put on multiple laps more than you need to. Gias spin on the exit of turn 1, entry into turn 2. He's ghosted, so whatever he does will be alright, but he's lost a good couple of positions there. He's now down 2 on where he started. An unfortunate one there for Gias, just off the points now as well, 4 seconds away from Ready Player F1, who's in 10th place. Lucky 3-second time penalty for track limits as well. We're going to be seeing that quite a lot because, again, this circuit is notorious for track limits, notorious for being difficult for ERS and for fuel as well. It's just generally a difficult track to keep it clean and keep it all good. On board with Gattuso, down one of many sort of back stretches, one would say. Let's jump back up to the lead. Does Phoenix make the move? He does now. He's taken him 3 laps to try, 20 to go. As he heads down into turn 1, he leads the race for the first time in this Grand Prix. Again, there's still 20 to go, but could be very interesting. See if he's also able to come away from Breezy like he's going to try and do, I'd imagine, down into turn 4. Breezy does have that medium tyre, but the question is how long will that medium tyre last? Is it going to last up until now, or is it going to last until about lap 17, by which point you can very easily strap on a set of hards and just go full pelt till the end? Jamie, 3-second time penalty for track limit, 6th place in a battle with Costasar, but Costasar's also got a 3-second time drop, so, you know, it's not really going to affect his position too much, at least as yet. Lap 10 of 29. 20 to go, and we're on board with Phoenix and Breezy. Battle for the lead here. Phoenix just overtook Breezy down into turn 1 on this last lap as we're heading back down the front stretch very shortly. Ryan Barthez, championship leader, in 3rd place. Again, good points for him if he can keep that up. Aston Martin's 4th and 5th. Gattuso and Vinny. Again, very good result for them. Jamie 6th. Costasar 7th, and then it's Naz, Flavor, and Ready for F1 to round out points. On board with Breezy. Can he make the move back down into turn 1? He's going to give it a go inside of turn 1. Again, we've seen that inside work so very well, and he's parked the car exactly in the middle of the corner, and that is one hell of a defence provided by Breezy. Naz has gone into the pit lane. I do believe one of the pit lanes that flashed up was a pit lane penalty. However, I can't confirm that. The only one that I can confirm is Wolfie's got another 3-second time penalty for track limits. Possible that it's due to a spin because Wolfie's dropped down to last place now. Possible, but again, I can't really confirm anything at this point in time. Looking on with Gattuso and Ryan Barthez, battle for 3rd place. Has been raging over the past couple of laps as they down into the open hairpin at turn 10. Exit here crucial because then you're going full throttle here. You're going really full throttle for pretty much the rest of the lap. Possibly just lifting through these kinks slightly as well, dropping down a gear into that 3rd one. Again, dropping down a gear into here. You're not really braking up until the final corner, so the exit out of there is absolutely crucial. But let's jump back up to the lead. Those pair are a little bit too far away to see a move done, but here comes the Mercedes versus Red Bull at Lusail. We've seen this before, side by side, down into turn 1. That's a great move by Phoenix, and that is the lead for now. I think they're going to chop and change for another few laps. Wolfie's retired. That's not particularly a surprise, love Wolfie, but doesn't look to be having the best of days in the race so far today. Let's see what's cracking in here. Not quite as much as I would have hoped / thought. Wolfie has left the session now as well, so not much of a prospect of him coming back. Into 7 for these guys. Looking on with the leaders at the moment, there's also a move being made down the front stretch here with Mitch and Embulk. Down into turn 1, Mitch making a move again. He started very, very highly, and then a couple of bits of contact, with one of which was with a McLaren. I think it was with the other McLaren, but contact and problems and plenty of other things have resulted in him currently being in 14th place, despite, I think, having a lot more pace than that. Back down the front stretch, 9/10 of a gap between Phoenix and Breezy, so there is a bit more of a gap. Going to be much more difficult for Breezy to get past, and I think this is the moment where Phoenix is definitely going to be able to pull away. Are those soft tyres possibly starting to fade away a little bit as Embol gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings? Could very, very easily happen. And it wouldn't particularly surprise me. Looking on with Ready Player F1 as Kostasar comes into the pit lane along with Gias. We did see Gias have a spin earlier on. That hard tyres for Kostasar, so they'll be to the end for the remaining 17 laps. Does he come out ahead of Lockie? Yes, he does. Quite comfortably as well. He's got a decent gap there, 3.2 seconds. He's going to be coming out on cold, hard tyres, so he's going to lose a little bit extra of that. He's going to stay there side by side with Naz and Lockie. Careful for Tiger B. He's going to try and force himself up the inside of turn 3. That would have been a brilliant move if he could have made that stick, but Lockie's going off track there. Is he possibly letting him through? I'm not too sure, but the move is still made, and that is Tiger B back in 11th place. Goes deep into turn 6. A lot of cars been going deep down into that corner, so it doesn't particularly surprise me. Mitch right on the back of Lockie as well because of that, so he's going to be hoping to again clamber up a little bit higher. He does have quite a lot of pace. He showed that in quali. He's showing that now. Side by side, medium tyres against hard tyres, 14 laps into this race. They're still running side by side. The outside line working very well for Lockie there. Into the first right-hander. Brilliant defence put up by the Mercedes. Mercedes is actually putting himself exactly where he needs to be in terms of defence. So very nicely done by Lockie. Good defence, but a poor exit out the final corner. And DRS as well. I think that will be calling time on Lockie's attempt to keep Mitch back. A very staunch attempt, a very, very good attempt, but unfortunately didn't really mean much in the grand scheme of things. Let's jump to 3rd and 4th again. Ryan Barthez and Gattuso keeping themselves close and honest, as these guys are just past the halfway point in this race. Starting lap 15 of 29, 15 to go. As Vinny is the first of the leaders to come into the pit lane. Nicely handled there by the Aston Martin, as Gattuso does get past Ryan Barthez down into turn 1. What sort of tyres are we looking at? Mediums, hards. Actually, I can just do this. I was just going to try to look at them. We've got hards till the end there for Vinny. Was it worth possibly pitting a little bit earlier to get the most out of those hards? I wonder. We shall see later on. Ryan Barthez again looking very, very tasty on that set of hards, but so does Gianna, so a lot of pace in both of those cars. They head through this twisty middle sector. Kostasar, another 3-second time penalty for track limits. I believe that brings him up to 6, as Embulk's also in the pit lane. Brand new set of tyres, brand new set of hard tyres. Jamie gets another 3-second time penalty. And once again, this is sort of expected with Qatar. It's not exactly a very easy track to keep within the lines. Believe me, I've had a couple of problems with that as they head into the final corner. Gattuso's just slightly too far away to make a move, but again, I did say that last time. And look where we are now. He doesn't seem to be closing up as much as he would have hoped. Is that really player F1 dropping like a stone? He's dropped over a second on Vinny's new tyres, or is that just mediums not working well? Safety car. Safety safety car. Hello. That's not an ideal position for a Ready Player F1 safety car to come call in, is it now? He just missed out on entering the pit lane first time around, so I imagine he's going to do that the second time around. Not quite sure what happened there. Or is it Wombat's Wing that we're talking about? I think it's Wombat's Wing we're talking about. Why are we talking about Wombat's Wing? Because he hasn't got one. And the game must think, oh, it's in such a position that I must retrieve it, kind of thing. Looking on with trackside Sanj, Williams in 13th place. Little bit of a problem entering the pit box. He's going to come out. He's going to come out because of that. I think just behind Mr. Death Teddy. I do believe that he was in front of him before the pit stop, so coming out behind isn't quite ideal. As the top guys are now pitting as well. I do imagine this man onto a set of... No, not quite what I thought. I thought he was going to put on a set of hards and just abuse them until Kingdom Come, but seemingly not. Goes on to a set of softs, hopes for the best. It's going to expect the safety car to be lasting quite a while. 10 laps on softs could be very interesting. It's pretty high wear through this circuit, especially on those left side tyres, because of all those right-handers. There's a lot of like high-speed right-handers. You've got 1, you've got 4, you've got 5, you've got 7, you've got 11, 12, 13, 14, and you've got to an extent 16 as well. There's a lot of those really fast, really tyre-heavy right-handers. And those are exactly what helps absolutely destroy a tyre. Lap 17 of 29, first actual safety car. We did have a virtual earlier in the race, but that was only for about half a lap, so no major squibble there. I should plug my phone in. I will do that shortly. Also, I am a very happy man tonight. Liverpool won. For anybody that doesn't know, I'm a Liverpool fan. Take that with disdain if you wish. All I'm going to say is Liverpool beat Chelsea with an academy team. So there you go. Let's look at also actual position changes as well, because it's quite fun to look at those. Ready Player F1 up 8. Good run from the AlphaTauri. Lucky also up 4, but with the field closing up, that could change very easily. Phoenix up 2 with Breezy and Ryan both down 1 spot as well. Let's take a look and see what's cracking in the Discord. There's bound to be something cracking in the Discord. There's not something cracking in the Discord now. That is a little bit of a surprise, I'll be honest. But regardless, let's see how Tier 1 is doing, I wonder. Because we love Tier 1 as well. Tier 1 deserves a lot of love. Under safety car conditions at the moment, Stan Polasek, Kubinson and Markey are your top 3. 2 drivers out, Luke Bailey and Rocketman. So a lot is happening. Actually, no safety car. I think safety car must have just come in. As the safety car is live here in Tier 2. Not confused with the YouTube running Tier 1, of course. It does say Tier 2 in the title, but it is Tier 1 that they're running over there. Got the lap under safety car. We might have another one, although I don't expect it, as Gevi is coming out of the pit lane once again. He's going to be at the very back, with Gias in 11th place. Not quite a great run for the Alfa Romeo. Pardon me. As let me look at the championship standings as well. Currently in 6th place in the Alphas, 48 points, sort of battling. Well, they're just off the battle for 3rd place with... God, who'd have thought I'd be saying this? McLaren, Aston Martin and Red Bull. You wouldn't say that normally. But we're having another go under the safety car, so we're going to have 10 laps of racing action. Which is going to be very, very interesting. Nazi's gone into the pit lane as well. Dropping from 8th place, getting rid of those hards. Is that a mistake from the Alpha Tauri? Did he want to put softs on now? That's going to be a challenge to go from the back of the field up to the top. We'll see what happens. I should also mention that, again, Alpine are, for want of a better word, absolutely dominating. 73 points ahead, where Mercedes in 2nd place have 68. With a total of 141. So some pretty big dominance there from the French team. Some battles further down, again, 3rd with Aston Martin, McLaren and Red Bull on 56, 57 and 55 points respectively. Alfa Romeo not very far off, 7 points off that lead on 48, and again Williams 8 points off Alfa Romeo on 40, and then customer team against manufacturer team. Haas Ferrari ahead of Ferrari, 23 v 20. 4 different manufacturers have won, 2 for Alpine, 1 for McLaren, 1 for Red Bull, and surprisingly 2 for Williams. Lap 19 of 29. I need to put a jumper on because it's absolutely freezing. At least where I am. It's pretty darn cold. Yeah, let's just pop this one. Jamie and Ready Player F1 are swapping places, maybe because they accidentally did exactly that. Safety car is coming in, some would say at long last, as we're going to have a 10-lap sprint. So basically, imagine a sprint within a Grand Prix, because at half distance, a sprint is 9 laps, and then this is 10 laps. I think Phoenix is gone already, so we're on board with Breezy. It's quite early for him to have gone. Breezy's going to have an opportunity down the front straight, but they've sort of split off the top 2. We're looking on board with the Red Bull. Can Breezy make a move down into turn 1? He's gone side by side. He's used a little bit of the back to do that. As they head down into turn 1, Breezy retakes the lead with 10 to go. As there's also a battle further back with pretty much everyone getting involved in it. One back getting ahead of Sanj, that's for 15th place. We're on board with Vinny, who's sort of in between a rock and a hard place. Gats ahead of him, Jamie behind him. Master Eddie does get ahead of Lucky, so Lucky's going to be going down the field at quite a substantial pace, I would imagine. Up to turn 6 we go. Let's look on with Gattuso, Ryan Barthez, the battles that we've seen sort of for the entire race. Really, as Costa and Ready Player F1 are battling through turn 7, inside line working very nicely for Ready Player F1. HU Wombat is down, but not quite out. He's back on track, as I thought Costa was going to go for it down into 10. He's almost going for it into 12. No, thinks better of it. How close would you like that, though? That was very, very tight there with Alpine and the Alpha Tauri. They're not fighting really in the Constructors' Championship, but Alpine will certainly want to increase their gap on the Mercedes down into the final corner, presumably. Ooh, no. Almost. Very, very close to that, though. As Tiger B does pick up a 3-second time penalty, and that is safety car. Is that for Wombat? Quite possibly. Breezy goes fastest, as Kostasar does get a penalty for a collision with Ready Player F1. I'm not sure if the incidents are related in any way, shape or form, but we shall see. We'll see eventually at some point. What does World Online Racing want from me? If anybody's interested in the World Online Racing, WOR, where a lot of the what used to be F1 esports used to race, Jarno Watmir has just won the Tier 1 Championship for the 3rd time and becomes the first ever person to do such a feat. So very well done there for the Dutchman, I think. I think he's Dutch. You know what Mir is Dutch, right? I'm pretty sure he is. So good, fair cop to the man. But we still got quite a few laps to go. Glad to have you all with us tonight. We've got 5 more laps, 5 more races after this. Next one being, of course, as previously mentioned, Silverstone. And then beyond that, we've got 2 more sprints left. So races all over the globe. And by all over the globe, let me clarify. Good God. How all over the globe? Silverstone, Melbourne with a sprint, Vegas, my goodness. Oh. Silverstone, Melbourne with a sprint, Vegas, Zandvoort, Abu Dhabi. That's where all the races are going to be for the rest of the season. That's some pretty interesting stuff there. 22 of 29, second safety car has come out. 7.5 to go as they head through the sort of mini S section that exists on this circuit. Wombats come into the pit lane, I assume, for a brand spanking new front wing. As there's been quite a few drivers, I think, that have pitted, all of which for a brand new set of softs. Now the question is that going to pay off? Is there going to be another safety car and then everybody else is going to pit for a new set of softs? I wonder. Tiger B, Kostasar, and all those guys from 15th down going to come out and say, or come out and go up the field, assuming another safety car comes out. We know the saying, safety car breeds safety car, so it could very well happen. So we'll see how that works. Whew. Starting lap 23, 7 to go. Not very much left in this race, but this has been an absolute cracker of a race. I don't think we would have had it any other way. A lot has happened, a lot has occurred. As we're heading down into turn 2, 23rd time of asking. Now, of course, the big question is, will the gamble work for these pair? Now, I wonder. Has he given the position up to Lockie? I don't know. Is that intentional? Possibly. I think he's trying to stay out of the way, which wouldn't surprise me. Maybe trying to stay out of contact with everybody else, but we'll see how all that works out in a little bit of time. Tiger B is the fastest of those new soft tyres, but there's still quite a lot of people on relatively sort of mid-worn mediums, which are could still have a lot of pace in them. And someone like Vinny as well, he's going to be hoping for another safety car because, you know, it's a bit late for hards, especially with 8 laps of use. If they were new, it wouldn't be too bad, but they're pretty nicely toasted and pretty nicely worn there. So it's possibly a bit of a problem, but that is for Vinny to decide whether he pits, whether he doesn't. Does he give up track position for a brand new set of tyres, or is it possibly just a little bit too late for that? I think we're getting another lap of safety car, so we're going to have 5 laps of racing action once the safety car comes in next lap, I assume. As we're again looking at Vinny through the final corner. A lot of stuff is cracking is happening. A lot of stuff also behind the scenes. Gevy's come into the pit lane. 5-lap-old mediums, I assume, onto a brand new set of softs. He's going to be at the very back. It's not the first time we've seen Gevy pit on the second lap. It's quite a common tactic for people that like to stay at the back during safety car restarts, but doesn't necessarily always work. Sometimes does pose some sort of problem as Wombat and Naz swap places. I assume intentionally again. Does look to be that way. Whether that's going to be done nicely or not, I'm not too sure. But it's a strategy that sometimes works, other times doesn't. Through the hairpin at 6. There is a lot of storylines to this race. Of course, Ryan Barthez is going to be extending this championship lead pretty handily, might I add. Because Breezy's going to catch up a little bit. So he's still going to sort of keep himself in the fight, but everybody else is going to be you know, not having enough points to sort of push for the title there. So could we be seeing a breezy Ryan Barthez battle in the second half of the championship? Now I wonder. We'll see what happens when the final results are calculated, sort of. When do they need to come out? Not long after the race. Safety car is in, on board with Ryan Barthez. 5 to go. HG Wombat's got a 5-second penalty for a collision with Lockie. Under safety car? Really? That's not ideal. Must have caused a lot of contact, and especially given that he's behind, that's going to cause some problems to his underfloors. We go green, green, green for the second time in this race. Looking on with Gatta, so he's round the back of Ryan Barthez. Again, this is the battle we've seen all race for third place. Side by side they go. Inside line's going to work well for Gatta, so he's going to go up the inside because they're still alongside into turn 1. But on exit is Gatta ahead of Ryan Barthez. Mitch has also forced his way up to 7th place now after starting a couple of places ahead in 5th place. Tiger B's also going up the field, so those new softs clearly working for some of the guys further back, but again, not for all of them. As Gossasol tries to get up the inside of his fellow soft runner, Tiger B, who is currently 5th in the standings, I believe. Yes, he is. So it's a good run for them. Meanwhile, back at the top, those guys are still close, you like. Everybody top 6 is within a second of each other. Closest by far is these guys here. Wombat, not Wombat, Phoenix Gatta. So Ryan Barthez, actually speaking of Wombat, damn it, he's dropped further back. Exit at 10, just before the sweeper at 11. He's had a spin once again. These guys head down into turn 16 for the 25th time, starting 26th lap, 4 to go. DRS isn't going to work until next lap, but even then they're going to have 2 passes down the front stretch. Phoenix stays behind. Again, he's done that quite a few times just in general. We're just watching. Ooh, opportunity for Gattuso. No move there into fourth. He stays in third place. Yellow's in the first sector. Who's that for? Is that Embulk? Oh, not good for the McLaren. It's had a spin. But again, he was one of the cars that didn't pit for the soft tyre. Meanwhile, some of the ones that did, they've made up quite a few positions. Tiger B's gone from about 14th to 15th to 12th place, so not a bad choice. But again, he needs to go up another 2 places before he gets anywhere near the points. Which, given the fact that he is 52 points on the board, Kostasar is not in the points actually, so the gap between them wouldn't really go up, but Vinny is picking up quite a few points, so would overtake them because he's 11 points down on the McLaren. Right, front stretch, here we go. Yell's in the third sector, Lockie's retired from the session, and that is a safety car. And I think that might be it. I think that might be it. HG1 back, drive-through penalty for speeding under safety car. That's sort of irrelevant because he's at the back anyway. But I think that might be it. Because these guys need to catch up to the safety car, unless the safety car comes out for just 1 lap. Which I don't think it would. It usually goes out for multiple, because that's Gattuso giving up positions to Vinny as well, so going fully for the strategy in terms of the team's championship, trying to close up the gap as much as he can. Vinny currently picking up 12 points. So he would get ahead of Tiger B and Kostasar, who are, well, they'd be drawn with Tiger B, to be fair. And Tiger B would be ahead on countback, because Tiger B has got a win, whereas Vinny's only got a 2nd place. So all hotting up very, very nicely. Simmering, one would say. Let's also look at fastest lap. That's going to Breezy. Yeah, so Breezy 26 points. Ryan Barthez 15. So the gap is going to stay at 25 points, but not to Nastic, but to Breezy, who's going to climb up from 4th to 2nd place. A great run for the Red Bull. But let's not count our chickens just yet. We've still got to see if the safety car is actually going to come in this lap, or if it just stays out for the rest of the race. In the case that it does, which it might, it's been a very, very good race. I've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed it. And remember, next week is going to be in Silverstone, which is bound to be an absolute banger of a race. Well, pretty much always is a banger of a race. One of my favourite racetracks. I've been to it before. I've been in the F1 pit lane. Granted, F1 wasn't on at the time, but I've been in that pit lane. It is a very, very nice pit lane. As we're just seeing a couple more drivers, I assume, come in. Hello, everybody. Glad to have you all here for the end. Pretty interesting race overall. Thoroughly enjoyed it. As we're just watching these guys trudge through turns 10 and 11. Oh, again, a lot of storylines, especially for this man. He's not really going to be increasing his championship leaders. Here we go. That's not expected. Safety car in this lap. I did not expect that. I thought we were going to just go 2 laps of safety car and that would be that. But here's something that I don't think anybody really expected. 1 lap to go. And it's not a very long lap, it's a very fast lap. So it's going to be interesting to see who makes a move, who doesn't. We've only got one run into turn one. As round the final corner they go. One lap to decide the race. Breezy, Phoenix and Ryan Barthez 1, 2 and 3. Good jump there for Breezy, bad jump for Phoenix. And Ryan Barthez is right behind him. He's going to try and catch him down into turn one. Can he make the braking move work? Ooh, close as you like. Any moves further down, I don't think we're going to see very much, because this Qatar circuit, really the main overtaking spot, sort of the only overtaking spot around here, is into turn one. And that's that really for most people. Gevy's had an incident round the second corner as the Aston Martins are going side by side. Gattuso ahead of Vinny, who gave up the position under safety car earlier on. Disqualified from the session for going the wrong way is Gevy. Not sure if that's intentional or not, but we're looking behind. That is... Ooh! Gattuso's had a spin there. Gattuso's going to be losing a lot of points there. Side by side also with XRO Flavor cutting the curbs there and Master Death, Teddy. As there's this battle at the back that's really, really hotting up. But also we've got to look at the battle for the lead. Phoenix and Breezy. And don't forget Ryan Barthez as well. He's going to be catching up if and where he can. But I don't think he's going to be able to make a move. Maybe down the front stretch, possibly. Who knows? Jamie's got another position. That's on Vinny, but possibly track limits penalties could cause him to lose that. Now, who's going to win? Is it Breezy? Is it Phoenix? Breezy does win the PGS race here. Lots of chaos happening further back in the pack. Vinny does pick up 5th place. Mitch goes 4th. Ready Player F1 6th. Is Gias is 7th. And that's all I was able to read, because that's how close we were after that safety car restart. Good lord. Mr. Death Teddy, no, I'm going to go for Mitch on this one. The fact that he had an incident at the start and now he finished at 4th is pretty stellar, as is. So fair cop to you, Mr. Williams, man, Mitch. Fair play. That was a podium there, and that is your race results, something I'm sure you're all interested in. Penalties have caused people to drop down further than probably they would have wanted. I reckon Ryan Barthez does increase his championship lead, but again, I can't confirm that at the moment. Well done to Breezy, Phoenix and Ryan Barthez for the podium. Mitch 4th place as well, good recovery there. Not sure what happened to Gevy at the end there. He does finish a lap. I'd imagine he finishes a lap down, so possibly 16th, 17th. But that is it from us tonight. Be sure to tune in next week, where we're racing at Silverstone. That's bound to be an absolute hell of a race. In the meantime, that is all from me, everyone. Stay safe, and we'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.